Listen to me. Stop holding back. You've been playing small. You've been holding on to that last bit of effort like it's a treasure. But I'm telling you right now, that's the very thing keeping you from greatness. You keep saying you want success. You keep saying you want the dream, but you're only giving 70%, 80%, sometimes 90%. And then you wonder why the results don't match your vision. You don't get to greatness by dipping your toes in the water. You get to greatness by diving all the way in. But stop reserving your energy. Stop saving your passion for later. What later? There is no later. The only time you have is now. You keep thinking the world owes you something for showing up, but showing up isn't enough. Everybody shows up. The difference is what you do when you get there. Are you giving every ounce of sweat, focus, and discipline? Or are you leaving something in the tank because you're afraid of pain, afraid of failure, afraid of sacrifice? Let me tell you the truth. The pain of discipline is always smaller than the pain of regret. Some of you are carrying dreams in your heart that are suffocating because you're not feeding them with 100%. You're halfway in, halfway out. You're giving excuses instead of effort. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for the right condition. Stop waiting until you will feel ready. The world doesn't wait for you. Life is going to move whether you move or not. So move now, give 100% now. I need you to decide today. No more holding back. No more excuses. No more halfway living. Every single day you wake up, you've got a choice to give your all or to waste the gift you've been given. And I promise you this, if you give 100%, if you pour everything you got into your grind, your dream, you'll shock yourself with what you're capable of. Don't cheat yourself. Don't rob yourself of your own greatness. You got one life, one shot. Give it everything you got. Because when you give 100%, the world has no choice but to respect it, and your future self will thank you for it. So I'm asking you, I'm challenging you, I'm daring you. Stop holding back and give 100%. I need you to understand something right now. Excellence doesn't live in 50%. It doesn't live in 80%. It doesn't live in 80%. It doesn't even live in 99%. Excellence demands that you give all of yourself, every ounce, every drop, every bit of energy, every second of focus. And the truth is, so many people walk around in this world saying they want success, they want greatness, they want to be the best at what they do, but when it comes down to the grind, when it comes down to putting in the work, they're holding back. They're reserving themselves. They're keeping something in the tank, and that little bit you're holding back, that's the difference between where you are right now and where you want to be. Stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you gave it everything when deep down you know you did. You know there were days you hit the snooze button instead of getting up. You know there were times you quit early at the gym, skipped a rep, left practice before it was over, stopped working on that business plan because you felt tired. You know there were times you told yourself, I'll do it tomorrow, and you never got back to it. Don't tell me you gave it 100% when you know you left effort on the table. Excellence doesn't live in shortcuts. Excellence doesn't live in excuses. Excellence only shows up for the person who is willing to give all they've got, even when it hurts, even when it's inconvenient, even when nobody's clapping for them. See, people want to taste success, but they don't want to pay the full price. They want discounts on greatness. But let me tell you something. There are no discounts on success. There is no clearance rack for dream. You can't walk into life and say, hey, I'll take greatness at 60% effort. No, you got to pay full price. And that price is your full commitment. If you want to be excellent, you got to be willing to say, I'm not leaving anything behind. I'm not holding back. I'm not going to give part of me and expect the world to give me everything. And the crazy thing is, the moment you decide to give it all, something changes in you. The way you walk changes, the way you talk changes, the way you see obstacles changes. When you're only giving 70%, every little challenge feels like a mountain. Every little failure feels like the end. But when you're giving 100%, when you're locked in, when you're fully committed, nothing can stop you. You don't see obstacles anymore. You see opportunities. You don't see failure as the end. You see it as a lesson. You don't quit when it gets hard. You push harder. That's what happens when you give all of yourself. The problem with so many people is that they're half in and half out. They want to dip their toe in the water. They want to test the temperature. They want to keep one foot in comfort and one foot in ambition. But you can't serve two masters. You can't say you want excellence while you're still entertaining laziness. You can't say you want success while you're still protecting your excuses. You can't say you want greatness while you're still saving energy for later. Later doesn't exist. Tomorrow isn't promised. The only moment you have is now. And if you don't give your all in this moment, you're robbing yourself of the future you say you want. Let me keep it real. Giving out 9% is not enough. Because that 1% you hold back will eat at you, it will haunt you. Years from now, when you look back, you won't regret the times you failed giving 100%. You'll regret the times you never tried. You'll regret the times you gave just enough to get by. You'll regret the times you played safe, when deep down you knew you had more in you. That's the pain of regret. That's the pain of regret. That's the weight of wasted potential. And let me tell you something, that pain is heavier than the pain of discipline, heavier than the pain of sacrifice, heavier than the pain of giving it all and falling short. Because at least when you give 100%, you know you left it all on the field. You know you gave it everything, and you can live with that. But can you live with knowing you could have been great, but you chose to be average because you were afraid of giving everything? You gotta stop playing with your life. Stop playing with your gift. Stop playing with your potential. Every single one of you was given something special, something unique, something the world needs. But the problem is you're holding back. You're too worried about being tired, too worried about being comfortable, too worried about being uncomfortable, too worried about failing. But let me ask you this, if not now, when? If not you, who? How long are you going to keep sitting on your dreams? How long are you going to keep watching other people win while you stay in the stand? You got to get on the field and play, and when you do, you got to play all out. Excellence doesn't care about your excuses. Excellence doesn't care about your feelings. Excellence only responds to effort. You can't fake it, you can't cheat it, you can't buy it. You earn it day in and day out by giving 100% every single time. And the truth is, you don't always have to feel like it. You don't always have to want to do it. Some days you'll be tired. Some days you'll be discouraged. Some days you'll want to quit. But giving 100% isn't about your feelings. It's about your commitment. It's about making a decision that no matter how I feel, no matter what it costs, no matter what it takes, I'm going to give everything I've got. And when you live like that, when you stop holding back, the results are undeniable. People will notice. Doors will open. Opportunities will come your way. Not because you're lucky, not because you're talented, but because excellence recognizes excellence. The world respects consistency. The universe rewards effort. And when you give 100%, you put yourself in alignment with success. So here's what I'm saying. Stop holding back. Stop cheating yourself. You can't keep dreaming about excellence while putting in mediocre effort. If you want it, if you really want it, you got to decide right now, I'm all in. No more half effort. No more halfway living, no more saving energy for later. From this day forward, I'm giving 100%. Because excellence requires full commitment. Anything less than that, and you're setting yourself up for regret. Don't live with regret. Don't leave this world wondering what could have been. Leave it knowing you gave it all. Leave it knowing you poured every ounce of yourself into your mission. Leave it knowing you didn't hold back. That's what excellence looks like. That's what giving 100% feels like. And that's the only way to live. Discipline is the bridge between where you are right now and where you want to be. Discipline is the thing that separates winners from quitters, the great from the average, the unstoppable from the forgotten. And I need you to hear me on this. If you don't master discipline today, you will be forced to live with regret tomorrow. You cannot escape it. You will either pay the price of discipline or you will pay the price of regret. But regret is a bill that keeps charging interest, and it will cost you more than you can ever imagine. See, the problem is everybody wants the reward, but nobody wants the routine. Everybody wants the success, but not everybody wants the schedule. Everybody wants the dream, but not everybody wants the discipline. And that's why so many people wake up years later filled with pain, filled with bitterness, filled with anger at themselves. Because they didn't pay the price when it mattered. They thought they had time. They thought tomorrow would come. They thought they could put it off. and now they're living in regret. Let me break it down. Discipline is doing what you said you would do long after the feeling has left. Discipline is getting up when the alarm goes off instead of hitting snooze. Discipline is sticking to the plan when everybody else is partying, when everybody else is chilling, when everybody else is taking the easy way. Discipline is making sacrifices that nobody sees, doing the hard work that nobody applauds, staying consistent when nobody's watching. And if you can master discipline today, your future self will thank you. But if you refuse, if you keep living by your feelings instead of your commitments, your future self will hate you. You will look back and wish you had done differently. You think skipping that workout today is no big deal. You think blowing off your study time, your business planning, your practice session doesn't matter. But listen to me. Discipline compounds just like regret compounds. Every act of discipline today builds strength for tomorrow. Every act of laziness today builds weakness for tomorrow. It's never just one choice. It's a pattern. It's a cycle. And the truth is, the habits you build today will determine whether you're living in freedom or in regret tomorrow. You gotta stop living for the moment and start living for the future. Some of you are so focused on pleasure right now that you're robbing yourself of progress. You're so focused on what feels good today that you're not thinking about how it will feel tomorrow. That's why you procrastinate. That's why you cut corners. That's why you keep choosing comfort. But I promise you that comfort will turn into chains. That comfort will turn into regret. That comfort will trap you in a life you don't want. Discipline, on the other hand, is freedom. When you choose discipline today, you set yourself free tomorrow. When you choose to sacrifice, to grind, to stay consistent, you're giving yourself options in the future. You're giving yourself power. You're giving yourself the ability to look back with pride instead of pain. Discipline today prevents regret tomorrow because it creates a tomorrow you don't have to be ashamed of. Let me be real with you. Regret hurts in a way discipline never will. Discipline stings for a moment. Regret burns for a lifetime. Discipline says, I don't feel like it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Regret says, I wish I would have. Discipline requires temporary sacrifice. Regret demands permanent suffering. And too many of you are choosing suffering later because you're too afraid of sacrifice now. Think about it. Every great athlete you admire, every successful entrepreneur, every person who made it to the top, they didn't get there by chance. They didn't get there by hoping and wishing. They got there because they chose discipline every single day. They practiced when it was boring. They worked when it was painful. They sacrificed when it was lonely. And now they're reaping the benefits while others sit in regret, saying, I could have been great. I should have been great, but I wasn't disciplined enough. Do you know what hurts more than failure? Looking back and realizing you never even tried. Looking back and realizing you quit too early. Looking back and realizing you had the talent, you had the opportunity, but you didn't have the discipline. That's what breaks people. That's what crushes people's spirit. And I don't want that for you. You've got to make a decision right now. Am I going to suffer the short-term pain of discipline, or am I going to suffer the lifelong pain of regret? Because you can't escape pain. Life will give it to you either way. But at least discipline's pain has a reward. At least discipline's pain produces fruit. At least discipline's pain builds strength, character, success. Regret gives you nothing but emptiness. Regret gives you nothing but a what ifs. Regret gives you nothing but wasted time you can never get back. And I know some of you are thinking, but E.T., discipline is hard. Waking up early is hard. Working out is hard. Studying is hard. Sacrifice is hard. And you're right, it is hard. But so is living with regret. So is waking up every day in a body you hate. So is working a job you despise because you never chased your dream. So is looking in the mirror knowing you settled when you could have been more. Everything is hard. You just have to choose your hard. Discipline today is your insurance policy against regret tomorrow. Every time you push through resistance, every time you do the thing you don't want to do, every time you make the choice, stick to the plan, you're building a future you can be proud of. You're building a future where you don't have to look back and say, I wish. You're building a future where you can stand tall and say, I did. And I promise you the day will come when discipline turns into delight. The day will come when what was once a struggle becomes your strength. The day will come when you're grateful for every sacrifice you made, every temptation you resisted, every moment you stayed committed. That's the power of discipline. It doesn't just build results, it builds pride. It builds confidence. It builds a life with no regrets. So I'm telling you right now, stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Stop saying you'll start tomorrow. Stop telling yourself you'll get serious next week, next month, next year. Tomorrow's regret is born from today's procrastination. Tomorrow's pain is born from today's laziness. Tomorrow's disappointment is born from today's excuses. But tomorrow's success is born from today's discipline. Tomorrow's strength is born from today's sacrifice. Tomorrow's victory is born from today's grind. Don't cheat your future. Don't sabotage your destiny. Don't rob yourself of the life you could have. You weren't willing to be disciplined today. The choices you make right now are shaping the person you'll become. The habits you practice right now are writing the story of your life. And you've got to ask yourself, when I get to the end, when I look back on my journey, do I want to smile with pride or do I want to cry with regret? You can't undo yesterday. You can't change the past, but you can decide today. You can decide to live with discipline, to live with consistency, to live with commitment. And if you do, you won't have to fear regret tomorrow. You'll stand tall knowing you gave everything you had. And that's a life worth living. You can't expect a full harvest from half the seeds. You can't expect a championship body from half the workouts. You can't expect a successful business from half the effort. Life doesn't give you more than what you put in. Partial effort equals partial results, period. Stop lying to yourself. Stop thinking you can cheat the process. Stop thinking you can give 60%, 70%, maybe 80% effort and still get 100% results. It doesn't work that way. That's why some of you are frustrated. That's why some of you feel stuck. You're looking at your life and wondering why things aren't changing, why the breakthrough hasn't come, why the dream still feels far away. And the truth is, you're not all in. You're halfway in and halfway out. You're putting in just enough effort to survive, but not enough to thrive. You're doing just enough to get by, but not enough to stand out. You're clocking in, but not grinding. You're showing up, but not showing out. Listen, the results you see right now are a direct reflection of the effort you've given. That's it. No mystery, no conspiracy, no secret formula. You are reaping what you sown. And if you don't like the harvest, you've got to check the seed. If you don't like the results, you've got to check your effort. If you don't like where you are, you got to stop blaming the system. Stop blaming people. Stop blaming circumstances and look in the mirror. The truth is, you're not giving everything. You can't keep expecting excellence with an average work ethic. You can't keep saying you want to be number one while working like you're number 50. You can't keep dreaming about greatness while operating in mediocrity. Success demands complete dedication. It requires that you put your whole self into it. Your mind, your body, your heart, your soul. It requires that you stop holding back, stop saving energy, stop making excuses and go all in. You want to know why some people make it to the top and others don't? It's not always talent. It's not always talent. It's not always intelligence. It's not even luck. It's dedication. It's consistency. It's commitment. It's the willingness to give 100% when others are only giving half. It's the willingness to do extra reps, to stay late, to study longer, to keep grinding when others have quit. That's the difference. That's why they win and others don't. Think about it. If you only study halfway, your grades reflect that. If you only train halfway, your body reflects that. If you only commit halfway to your business, your bank account reflects that. Life mirrors your effort. And the sad part is most people already know this, but they keep choosing halfway. They keep settling for partial effort. They keep convincing themselves that maybe this time, somehow, they'll get lucky. But luck is not a strategy. Discipline is. Dedication is. Stop gambling with your future. Stop hoping the bare minimum will magically take you to the top. The bare minimum doesn't build greatness. The bare minimum doesn't get you noticed. The bare minimum doesn't get you remembered. If you want to make history, if you want to leave a legacy, if you want to live a life of impact, you can't do it with partial effort. You've got to pour all of yourself into it. I need you to get this. Success doesn't accept leftovers. You can't give your dream whatever scraps of energy you have left after scrolling, after Netflix, after hanging out, after wasting time and expect it to grow. Your dream requires prime time energy. It requires your best hours, your best focus, your best strength. You gotta flip your priorities. You gotta stop giving everything else 100% and giving your dream 50%. Your dream has to be first. Your dream has to be the main thing, because partial effort equals partial results. And if you only feed your dream scraps, it will die. Let's be honest. Some of you are living in cycles right now. You start strong, you get excited, you put in the work for a while, but then you slack off. You skip days, you lose focus, you stop being consistent. And then when the results don't come, you get discouraged. But that's not because the dream doesn't work. You're giving half, then expecting a whole. You're inconsistent, then you wonder why success is inconsistent in your life. You've got to make a decision. Are you going to keep living like this, or are you going to get serious? Are you going to keep giving partial effort and collecting partial results, or are you going to go all in? Because when you finally commit, when you finally give everything, the results will come. Success responds to effort. Success responds to commitment. Success responds to dedication. There's no choice, and I know what you're thinking. You're saying, but E.T. giving 100% is hard. Being all in is exhausting. And you're right, it is hard. It is exhausting, but let me tell you what's harder. Living a life where you know you could be more. Living a life where you know you settle. Living a life where you look around and see people living the dream you once had because they were willing to go all in while you weren't. That pain, that regret, that emptiness is worse than the pain of giving your all. When you give partial effort, you're lying to yourself. You're telling yourself you tried, but deep down you know you didn't. You're telling yourself you gave your best, but deep down you know you quit early. That lie eats at you. That lie destroys your confidence, that lie keeps you stuck. But when you give 100%, when you leave it all in the field, when you know you held nothing back, there's freedom in that. It's about who you become in the process. And when you give full effort, you become disciplined. You become resilient. You become someone who can be trusted with success. That's why complete dedication is required. Because success isn't about half-hearted people. Success is about people who are willing to sell out for their dream. People who are willing to boast, people who are willing to burn, people who are willing to give everything they've got. So stop wasting time. Stop wasting energy. Stop living in mediocrity. If you want something, commit to it. Dedicate yourself to it fully. Give it everything you got every single day. Because partial effort equals partial results. And you weren't born to live a partial life. You were born for greatness. You were born to live full, to die empty, to give it all while you still have breath in your lungs. Some of you right now are not living the life you were created to live. Not because you don't have the talent, not because you don't have the gift. Have the gift not because you don't have the ability, but because you are letting fear and comfort rob you of your potential. Fear and comfort are the biggest thieves in your life, and you don't even realize it. They're robbing you blind while you sit there thinking you're safe. Fear whispers to you, well, what if you fail? What if you mess up? What if people laugh? What if you're not good enough? And because you listen, you don't even try. You don't step out. You don't take the shot. You don't chase the dream. And then comfort comes right behind fear and says, it's okay, stay where you are. Don't push too hard. Don't risk you hard. Don't risk it. Just relax, be safe, be average. And you agree because it feels good in the moment. But let me tell you, what feels good today will cost you tomorrow. Fear and comfort have stolen more dreams than failure ever has. Failure doesn't destroy people, quitting does. Playing safe does, refusing to move does. You're not stuck because of what's possible. You're stuck because you're afraid. You're stuck because you're too comfortable. You built a prison out of your fears and decorated it with comfort. You've locked yourself in and thrown away the key and you call it security. But it's not security, it's self-sabotage. I need you to get this. Fear and comfort will always lie to you. Fear will exaggerate the danger. Comfort will exaggerate the ease. Fear says it's too risky. Comfort says it's too hard. Fear says that you might lose. Comfort says you don't need to win. And if you listen, you'll stay stuck your whole life. You'll die with potential still inside you. You'll take your dreams to the graveyard where millions of dreams are already buried because their owners let fear and comfort rob them. But here's the truth. The life you want, the person you want to become, the dream you want to live, all on the other side of fear is all outside your comfort zone. You'll never grow where you're comfortable. You'll never discover your true strength if you're always playing safe. Diamonds are made under pressure. Muscles are built by resistance. Champions are forged in adversity. You can't live easy and expect to be great. Stop thinking fear means stop. Fear doesn't mean stop. Fear means go. Fear means go. Fear is the sign that you're on the edge of growth. Fear is proof you're about to step into something bigger. If it doesn't scare you, it won't stretch you. If it doesn't stretch you, it won't change you. And if it doesn't change you, it can make you great. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is your compass. If you're afraid, that's the direction you need to go. And comfort is poison. Comfort kills more dreams than pain ever will. Because comfort convinces you to settle. Comfort convinces you to accept less. Comfort convinces you that average is enough. And once you buy into that lie, you stop climbing, you stop fighting, you stop pushing, you stop becoming. Comfort is the grave where potential is buried alive. The scary thing is comfort feels good while it's killing you. That's why people stay in it so long. Comfort is like a drug. It numbs you. It makes you forget the hunger you once had, the fire you once carried, the dream you once believed in. Comfort makes you okay with just existing instead of living. And by the time you realize what it's cost you, it's too late. But not for you. Not if you wake up now. Not if you decide today that you're done letting fear and comfort rob you. You gotta get uncomfortable. You gotta put yourself in situations that scare you, that stretch you, that force you to grow. You gotta stop asking, what if it doesn't work? And start asking, what if it does? You got to stop saying it's too risky and start saying it's too costly not to try. To try. The truth is, failure is temporary. Fear makes it permanent. Discomfort is temporary. Comfort makes it permanent. You can push through fear. You can survive discomfort. But you cannot build a life of greatness if you keep giving in to fear and comfort. They will always ask you to play small. They will always ask you to stay safe. They will always ask you to trade your potential for a little moment of ease. And if you listen, you'll regret it forever. Think about the people you admire, the champions, the innovators, the leaders, the legends. Do you think they lived in fear and comfort? No, they were terrified at times, but they moved anyway. They were uncomfortable every single day, but they stayed in it because they knew growth comes with pain. They didn't let fear stop them. They didn't let comfort hold them. That's why we remember their names. You've got to get bold. You've got to get courageous. You've got to be willing to do the thing that scares you most. You've got to be willing to step where it's uncomfortable because that's where the growth is. That's where the reward is. That's where your potential lives. Your destiny is not in your safe zone. Your destiny is waiting on the other side of the risks you're afraid to take. Stop wasting time. Stop hiding in fear. Stop resting in comfort. You've been playing small too long. You've been making excuses too long. You've been letting your potential slip away too long. No more. Today is the day you take your power back. Today is the day you stop letting fear and comfort rob you. Today is the day you step out of the boat, step into the unknown, step into the fight. Because the truth is, fear and comfort don't go away. They'll always be there. But you get to decide whether you listen. You get to decide whether they control you. You get to decide whether they rob you or whether you rise above them. And if you choose courage, if you choose discomfort, if you choose to face your fear, your potential will explode. You'll see things in yourself you never knew existed. You'll achieve things you never thought possible. You'll live a life that fear and comfort could never offer you. Don't let them steal from you anymore. Don't give them the power. Don't hand over your potential in exchange for safety. You were built for more. You were designed for greatness. You were meant to live bold, live free, live full. And the only way to get there is to break free from fear and comfort once and for all. You keep telling yourself you're going to start tomorrow, next week, next month when the time is right, when the money is right, when the situation is perfect. But let me break it to you. That perfect time you're waiting for, it doesn't exist. Life will never roll out a red carpet and say, here, now everything is lined up. Go chase your dream. That's not how life works. You're waiting for an illusion. And the longer you wait, the more time you waste. Every second you delay, Somebody else is out there grinding. Somebody else is out there taking action. Somebody else is out there claiming the very thing you say you want. And when you finally wake up, it's gone. Because you waited for the stars to align instead of moving with what you had. You don't need perfect conditions, you need courage. You don't need everything figured out. You need to take the first step. The people who win in life are not the ones with the most resources, not the ones with the most opportunity, but the ones who take action with the little they have. They don't wait. They move. They don't stall. They execute. They don't spend their life planning for the perfect moment because they understand the perfect moment is created by action, not by waiting. Some of you are sitting on ideas, dreams, goals, but you paralyze yourself with overthinking. You keep making excuses like, I'll do it when I have more money. I'll do it when I'm ready. I'll do it when I'm ready. I'll do it when I feel more confident. Stop. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes after. You get confidence by moving, by learning, by failing, by improving. Waiting for confidence before you start is like waiting to get in shape before you go to the gym. It doesn't make sense. You've got to get in the game if you want to change the outcome. Life is about progress, not perfection. Every day you sit and wait, you lose a day you could have been learning, a day you could have been growing, a day you could have been building momentum. You don't need the whole staircase to take the first step. You don't need the full plan to start moving forward. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. That's how success is built. Think about the people you admire, the ones who've accomplished incredible things. You think they waited until the timing was perfect? No, they started scared. They started broke. They started uncertain. They started unprepared, but they started. And because they started, they learned, they adapted, they grew, and they became the person capable of handling the dream they were chasing. You're trying to skip the process. You want the assurance, you want the comfort, but success doesn't live in comfort. Success lives in courage. You're waiting for the opportunity to knock. But let me tell you something. Opportunity doesn't knock, it hides. And it only reveals itself when you stop moving. When you act, doors open. When you move, people notice. When you step forward, the resources appear. But if you're sitting still, nothing happens. No doors open, no help comes, no growth takes place. Action creates momentum, momentum creates opportunities. I know you're scared. I know you don't feel ready. I know you're worried about failing. But listen to me. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every time you fall, you learn something you couldn't have learned standing still. Every setback carries a lesson that makes you stronger, sharper, and more prepared. You don't get wisdom by waiting. You get wisdom by moving and making mistakes. Stop worshiping the idea of being ready. Nobody is ever fully ready. You think parents are ready when they have their first child. You think entrepreneurs are ready when they launch their first business. You think leaders are ready when they take their first step. No, they step into the unknown and grow into readiness. You gotta stop lying to yourself with this excuse of I'll start when the time is right. The right time is right now. Right now while you're broke, right now while you're scared, right now while you're confused. Start messy, start clumsy, start without all the answers, but just start. Because if you wait, you'll still be in the same place next year with the same excuses, the same frustration, and the same regret. The time won't magically get better. The only way it gets better is when you get better, and you only get better by starting. Do you think storms wait for you? Do you think life pauses until you're comfortable? No, life is moving whether you're moving or not. So the question is, are you going to get left behind? Or are you going to move forward in faith? Because faith isn't about having the whole picture. Faith is about trusting the process when you can't see the outcome. Faith is about believing in yourself when the circumstances look impossible. You don't need more time. You need more urgency. You don't need perfect resources. You need perfect effort. You don't need to have it all. You need to use what you got. Some of you are sitting on gifts that the world needs, but you keep hiding them because you don't think you're good enough yet. Listen to me. You get good enough by showing up, by practicing, by giving your gift every single day. You're not supposed to be perfect right now. You're supposed to be in the process of becoming. Stop comparing yourself to people who are 10 steps ahead of you that didn't get there overnight. That is easy. They didn't wait until everything was aligned. They moved, they worked, they pushed, and they failed until they figured it out. They took the leap before they had wings, and because they jumped, they learned how to fly on the way down. You're standing at the edge of your dream, staring at it, overthinking it, analyzing it, and all the while, your heart is screaming at you to jump. You're not held back by lack of opportunity. You're held back by hesitation. You're not stuck because of the world. You're stuck because you refuse to take the first step. Action beats hesitation every single time. You got one life, one shot. And every day you delay, you're spending a day you can never get back. Stop wasting your life waiting for perfect conditions that don't exist. Move now, start now, fail now, learn now, grow now, do something today that your future self will thank you for. Because one day you'll look back and either say, I'm glad I started when I did, or I wish I had started sooner. So stop holding back, stop waiting, stop lying to yourself about the perfect time. The perfect time is an illusion. The perfect time is now, with the resources you have, with the skills you have, with the skills you have, with the courage you have. And if you give it everything you've got, day after day, step after step, I promise you, you will create the opportunity to success and the life you've been dreaming of. Everybody wants to talk about talent. Everybody wants to talk about gifts. Everybody wants to talk about natural ability. But let me tell you the truth. Talent without consistency is wasted potential. Talent might get you noticed, but consistency keeps you relevant. Talent might give you a head start, but consistency will make sure you finish the race. I've seen people with all the talent in the world fall short because they didn't have the discipline to show up every single day. And I've seen people with average ability rise to greatness because they refuse to quit. They refuse to slack. They refuse to skip the grind. You don't have to be the most talented. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the fastest. You just have to be consistent. Because consistency is what separates dreamers from doers. Consistency is what takes a wish and turns it into reality. Consistency is what keeps you in the game when everyone else is going home. Too many of you are banking on talent, waiting for your natural ability to carry you. But talent without consistency is like a car without fuel. It looks good, it shines, but it isn't going anywhere. Some of you are so gifted, but you're lazy. You got the skills, you got the intelligence, you got the raw power, but you only give it when you feel like it. You only show up when you're motivated. You only grind when the conditions are good. That's why you keep falling short. Because talent is inconsistent when it's not disciplined. But consistency doesn't care about feeling. Consistency doesn't care about mood. Consistency says, I'm showing up no matter what. Rain, snow, tired, broke, discouraged. Consistency shows up. That's why the world respects consistent people more than talented people. Because talent is flashy, but consistency is trustworthy. Think about it. Who do you want on your team? The guy who's amazing one day and gone the next, or the one who might not be the best, but is there every single time you need him? That's why coaches value consistency. That's why employers value consistency. That's why leaders value consistency. Because you can build with consistency. Because you can build with consistent people. You keep looking at people who are successful and telling yourself, they must be more talented than me. No, they're just more consistent than you. They don't skip days. They don't skip reps. They don't make excuses. They don't rely on talent. They rely on habits. Habits build character. Habits create discipline. Habits sustain success. Talent might open the door, but habits keep you in the room. Listen to me. I've seen kids in school smarter than me, sharper than me, with more natural ability. But they didn't study. They didn't prepare. They thought their talent was enough. Meanwhile, I stayed up late, grinding, putting in the work, being consistent day after day. And when the results came, they looked at me like, how did you do it? Simple. I didn't rely on talent. I relied on consistency. Some of you think you've got time to waste because you're talented. You think your gift will save you. But gifts without discipline rot. If you don't use it daily, you lose it. You don't rise to the level of your talent. You fall to the level of your consistency. And when the pressure comes, it's not your talent that will carry you through. It's your habits, your daily grind, your discipline. You've got to stop envying talented people and start respecting consistent people. The guy who wakes up every morning at 5 a.m. to train, even when he's tired. The student who studies every day even when they don't feel like it. The entrepreneur who works on their dream every night even when the results aren't showing yet. That's who wins. Because while talent is sleeping, consistency is working. While talent is distracted, consistency is focused. While talent is quitting, consistency is enduring. And here's the truth. When consistency and talent go head to head, consistency eventually wins. Why? Because talent without effort gets tired. Talent without grind gets frustrated. Talent without patience gives up when it doesn't get instant results. But consistency doesn't care about results. Consistency just keeps going. And because it keeps going, it keeps growing. You might not see the results today. You might not see the fruits tomorrow. But if you keep planting seeds every day, eventually the harvest will come. That's the law of consistency. You reap what you sow. Not once, not twice, but daily. And if you're sowing effort, sowing discipline, sowing sacrifice, eventually you're going to eat the fruits of your labor. Don't you dare look at your lack of talent and use it as an excuse. Don't you dare tell yourself you can't win because you're not the most gifted. You don't have to be the best. You just have to outlast the rest. You don't need their talent. Outwork their talent. Outlast their laziness. Outdiscipline their excuses. Because when talent refuses to give 100%, consistency will always overtake it. Think about a marathon. The fastest runner might sprint ahead in the beginning. But if he doesn't have the endurance, if he doesn't have the discipline to keep going, he burns out. Meanwhile, the steady runner, the consistent one, the one who just keeps moving at the same pace, step after step, mile after mile, that's the one who finishes strong. That's the one who crosses the line. That's the one who wins. Your problem isn't talent, it's consistency. You start strong, but you don't finish. You commit, but you don't follow through. You show up for a week, a month, but then you disappear. You're waiting for motivation to carry you, but motivation fades. Consistency doesn't need motivation. It builds its own. Consistency says, I don't care if I feel like it. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if it's inconvenient. I'm showing up. That's why consistent people always improve. Because every single day they're taking a step, and those steps add up. Stop chasing perfection and start chasing consistency. You don't have to make a giant leap every day. You just have to take one step, and then another, and then another. And over time, those steps will carry you farther than talent ever could. Because while talent is sporadic, consistency compounds. Consistency multiplies. Consistency multiplies. Consistency turns small efforts into massive results. So if you're tired of being stuck, if you're tired of watching talented people waste their gifts while you wonder why you're not further, the answer is simple. Be consistent. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for condition. Stop waiting for talent. You don't have. Use what you've got every day without fail. Because when you show up consistently, you build something unshakable. Discipline. And discipline beats talent every single time talent refuses to show up. You don't have to win today with talent. Win today with effort. Win today with discipline. Win today with consistency. Because if you do that today and tomorrow and the next day, I promise you, you'll look up one day and realize you've passed every talented person who refused to put in the work. The words you speak over your life are shaping the life you live. You may not even realize it, but every single day, with every single thought and every single word, you're programming your future. The problem with some of you is that you've been repeating the wrong affirmations. You've been telling yourself, I can't. I'm not enough. I always mess up. I'll never be successful. You don't even recognize that every time you say those words, you're building walls around your own life. You're speaking limits into existence before you even take the first step. You're already defeated, not because of your environment, not because of other people, but because of the words you've chosen to believe about yourself. I need you to catch this. Words create worlds. What you say becomes what you say. You keep saying you're broke, so your mind finds proof that you're broke. You keep saying you're unlucky, so your brain filters life through that lens. You keep saying you're not smart enough, so you never give yourself permission to learn. You've been affirming failure without even knowing it. You've been training your subconscious to accept average. You've been hypnotizing yourself with negativity. But here's the truth. If your words have the power to destroy, then your words also have the power to build. If your words can trap you, then your words can free you. If your words can drag you down, then your words can lift you up. That's why affirmations matter. That's why speaking life over yourself every single day is not optional. It's necessary, because the moment you change the way you talk to yourself, you change the way you live. Some of you are waiting for people to clap for you, waiting for validation, waiting for someone else to tell you you're worthy. But what if they never do? What if nobody cheered? What if nobody notices? Now you're going to give up on yourself? No, you've got to be the one to clap first. You've got to wake up every morning and remind yourself who you are. You've got to look in the mirror and say, I am disciplined, I am resilient, I'm enough, I am chosen, I am unstoppable. Because when you say it long enough, your brain starts to believe it. And once your brain believes it, your body moves like it's true. Affirmations are not magic spells. They don't work just because you say them once. They work because repetition rewires the brain. Every time you say, I can, you're building a new pathway in your mind. Every time you say, I will, you're carving confidence into your identity. Every time you say, I am worthy, you're training your subconscious to look for evidence of worth. And over time, your mind and your habits align with your words. That's when you begin to see results. Not because something changed outside of you, but because something changed inside of you. I know some of you are thinking, Ed, that sounds corny. Talking to myself in the mirror, saying words out loud. But let me ask you, has doubting yourself been working? Has calling yourself a failure been helping? Has telling yourself you can't been moving you forward? No. So what do you have to lose by speaking life instead of death? What do you have to lose by giving yourself the words you needed when you were younger? Some of you never heard her good enough, so you gotta be the one to say it. Some of you never heard I believe in you, so you gotta be the one to repeat it until it sticks. Think about the greats. Athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders. They don't just train their bodies, they train their minds. Muhammad Ali used to say over and over, I am the greatest. He said it long before the world believed it. Why? Because he had to convince himself first. He wasn't waiting for the media to crown him. He wasn't waiting for the world to acknowledge him. He spoke it, he affirmed it, and then he lived it. That's the blueprint. You speak it, you believe it, you act on it, and eventually the world catches up. Every day you're going into battle. The enemy isn't just outside. It's inside. Your doubts, your fear, your insecurities, your excuses. They're fighting to control your mind. And the weapon you have is your words. You can't go into battle unarmed. You've got to equip yourself with affirmations that remind you of your strength, your power, your worth. You got to wake up every day with declarations that drown out the noise of negativity. You got to speak over yourself until your inner critic gets quiet and your inner champion gets loud. Some of you are so good at affirming others. You tell your kids they're smart. You tell your friends they're capable. You tell your partner they're amazing. But you never affirm yourself. You pour life into everybody else and leave yourself empty. But hear me, you can't give what you don't have. You can't inspire others if you don't inspire yourself. You can't believe in someone else if you don't believe in you. So stop starving your own soul. Feed yourself words that build you, words that strengthen you, words that fuel you. And don't just say affirmations when you feel good. Say them especially when you feel low. That's when you need them the most. When you fail, say, I'm not my mistakes. When you're scared, say, I am courageous. When you're tired, say, I am disciplined. When you're broke, say, I am resourceful. Don't wait for your circumstances to change before you speak change. Speak it in the middle of the storm. Speak it when nothing makes sense. Speak it when you feel like quitting. Because that's how you shift your energy. That's how you shift your focus. And that's how you keep going when everything in you wants to stop. I remember when I had nothing, sleeping in abandoned buildings, hungry, broke, lost. And I had two choices. Keep repeating the words, I can make it, or start speaking life into myself. I chose affirmations. I chose to tell myself, I am not done yet. I am not finished. I am not broken. I am destined for more. And guess what? Nothing around me changed immediately. I was still broke, still homeless, still struggling. But I kept saying, I kept affirming it. And over time, my words changed my perspective. My perspective changed my actions, and my actions changed my life. I am standing here today because of affirmations I spoke when nobody believed in me. So what about you? What are you saying over your life? Are you affirming defeat or affirming victory? Are you affirming victory? Are you affirming lack or affirming abundance? Are you affirming strength? Stop rehearsing the negativity. Stop playing the same broken tape. Record something new. Build a new playlist of affirmations and put it on repeat. Make it the soundtrack of your life. Wake up and declare. Go to bed and declare it. Write it on your wall, on your phone, on your mirror. Let your life be surrounded by affirmations that remind you who you are and where you're going. And when doubt shows up, when fear whispers, when failure knocks, you answer with words of power. You answer with affirmations that say, I am bigger than this. I am built for this. I am chosen for this. I am unstoppable. Because here's the bottom line. If you don't affirm yourself, life will affirm your doubts. If you don't speak your identity, the world will hand you one. If you don't claim your future, your past will claim it for you. So stop letting life write your story. Open your mouth. Use your words. Create your world. Because affirmations matter. They're not just words. They're your weapon, your shield, your foundation. And if you use them with consistency, with conviction, with discipline, there's no limit to the life you can build. Too many of you are waiting on somebody else to tell you that you're enough. You're waiting for your parents to clap for you, waiting for your friends to recognize you, waiting for your boss to pat you on the back, waiting for the world to give you permission to believe in yourself. But let me tell you something. What if that day never comes? What if they never clap? What if they never say, I'm proud of you? What if nobody ever sees the work you put in? What are you going to do then? Quit? Let this silence kill your dream? You can't live like that. You can't base your worth on somebody else's applause. You got to learn to clap for yourself. You got to validate yourself. See, here's the truth. Validation feels good. We're human. We all want recognition. We all want to be seen. But the most dangerous thing you can do is make your value dependent on someone else noticing you. Because the moment they don't, you crumble. The moment they doubt you, you doubt yourself. The moment they stop cheering, you stop running. That means your whole life is on somebody else's leash. And if they pull back, you stop moving. That's not power, that's weakness. You got to take your power back. You got to be the one who says, I'm worthy, I'm talented, I'm gifted, I'm chosen. You can't outsource that to anybody else. I'm telling you right now, stop expecting everybody to understand your grind. Stop expecting everybody to see your vision. Stop expecting everybody to believe in your dream. It wasn't given to them. It was given to you. And because it was given to you, you're the one who's responsible for watering, protecting it, growing it. If you spend your life waiting for other people to approve of what you're doing, you'll never move. You'll be stuck. You'll be paralyzed. Sometimes you gotta walk alone. Sometimes you gotta build without claps. Sometimes you gotta grind in the dark when nobody sees and still remind yourself every day, this is worth it. I'm worth it. I can do this. I've been there. I've been there. I'm what it feels like to want validation so bad it hurts. When I was homeless, when I was broke, when I was grinding and nobody knew my name, I wanted people to say, yeah, you're doing a good job. Eat, we see you. But they did. And I had a choice. Wait for them to clap or clap for myself. Wait for them to call my name or call my own name. No. And I decided I can't let my destiny be held hostage by people's opinion. So I validated myself. I said, I'm enough. I will make it. I will rise. And I kept speaking it until my actions caught up, until my results shouted louder than anybody's silence. You've got to stop looking outside for something that can only be built inside. External validation is like sugar, gives you a quick rush, but it doesn't last. Self-validation is like protein. It builds you strong from the inside out. When you validate yourself, it doesn't matter if the world claps or not because you're already secure. You're already convinced, you're already locked in. That's where real power comes from. Some of you are so addicted to likes, to comments, to followers, to external praise that you can't move unless somebody is watching. You can't grind unless somebody posts about it. You can't stay consistent unless somebody pats you on the back. But let me tell you something. The greats didn't wait for likes. They were grinding when nobody knew their name. They were building when nobody was watching. They were pushing when nobody was clapping. And that's why they made it. Because their fuel wasn't approval. It was purpose. Their validation wasn't from the crowd. It was from within. You need to understand something powerful. People are inconsistent. Today they love you. Tomorrow they forget you. Today they cheer. Tomorrow they criticize. Today they call you great. Tomorrow they call you average. If your worth is tied to their words, you'll ride a roller coaster of emotions and never find stability. But when your worth is tied to your own conviction, when you validate yourself daily, you become unshakable. You can stand when the crowd is loud, and you can stand when the crowd is silent. You can stand when they support you, and you can stand when they abandon you. That's freedom. You've got to get to the point where you can walk into a room full of doubters, a room full of people who don't believe in you, and still say to yourself, I belong here. I'm built for this. I will succeed. Because self-validation doesn't need permission. Self-validation doesn't ask, do you like me? It says, I know who I am, and that's enough. You've got to reach that level. And let me tell you why this is so important. Because there will be days when nobody understands your grind. There will be seasons when nobody sees the hours, the sacrifice, the late nights, the early mornings. There will be times when you're building something so big, so beyond their imagination, that they think you're crazy. And in those moments, the only thing that will keep you moving is the voice inside you that says to keep going. You got this. Don't stop. If you don't have that voice, you'll quit when it gets lonely. You'll quit when it gets quiet. You'll quit when it gets hard. You've got to train yourself to be your own biggest fan. You've got to learn how to encourage yourself. You've got to learn how to look in the mirror and see a champion even when the world sees nothing. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to fight for your dream like you will. Like you will. Nobody's going to put in the hours for you. Nobody's going to believe harder for you than you. It's your dream, your fight, your grind, your legacy. So stop outsourcing your strength. Build it inside. I need you to stop scrolling. Stop comparing. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing and stop focusing on your lane. Some of you are discouraged, not because you're not doing good, but because you're comparing your behind the scenes to somebody else's highlight reel. And then you think, I'm not good enough. I'm not moving fast enough. But that's not true. That's comparison. Self-validation says, I'm on my own journey. I'm running my own race. I don't need to measure myself against anyone else because my path is mine. I need you to start celebrating small wins. Every day you show up, celebrate. Every time you make progress, celebrate. Every time you resist the urge to quit, celebrate. Because if you're waiting for other people to celebrate you, you may be waiting forever. Don't let your wins go unnoticed. Don't let your growth go unacknowledged. Applaud yourself. Clap for yourself, because sometimes you're the only one who knows how hard it was to keep going. When you validate yourself, you build resilience. You build the kind of strength that says, even if nobody sees me, I see me. Even if nobody believes in me, I believe in me. Even if nobody claps, I'll clap. And when you build that strength, you become unstoppable. Because now you're not running on applause, you're running on conviction. And conviction will carry you when applause won't. Conviction will keep you grinding when the lights are off. Conviction will keep you consistent when nobody's checking. Conviction will carry you to the finish line when the crowd has gone home. So I'm telling you right now, the next time you're tempted to wait for somebody's approval, remind yourself, you don't need it. You don't need them to clap. You don't need them to post about you. You don't need them to call your name, because you already know who you are. You already know what you're capable of. You already know where you're going, and that's enough. Validate yourself. Speak life into yourself. Believe in yourself. Because if you don't, who will? If you don't clap for you, who will? If you don't approve of your grind, who will? At the end of the day, your future depends on you. Your destiny depends on you. Your dream depends on you. So stop waiting for permission and give it to yourself. Stop waiting for applause and clap for yourself. Stop waiting for validation and validate yourself. Because the moment you do, you become free. And when you're free, there's nothing in this world that can stop you. Most of you don't even realize how much is inside of you. You've been walking around acting like you're average when there's greatness locked up inside. You've been treating yourself like you're ordinary when the truth is you're extraordinary. You've been playing life small, dimming your light, holding back, waiting for permission to shine when everything you need to dominate, to win, to break through is already in you. Whoa, you got potential in your DNA. You got greatness in your bones. You got power in your spirit, but you're sleeping on it. You're ignoring it. And the worst tragedy in life is not death. It's dying without ever discovering who you really were and what you were capable of. I need you to wake up to yourself. I need you to look in the mirror and realize that the person staring back is not weak, not broken, not less than, not unworthy. That person is powerful. That person has survived storms that should have destroyed them. That person has overcome obstacles that would have crushed somebody else. That person has dreams, talents, and gifts that this world hasn't even seen yet. The only reason you're not walking in your full potential is because you don't believe it's in you. You're doubting what God already put in you. You're questioning what's already yours. Listen to me. Potential means unused power. It means there's more in the tank. It means you got levels you haven't touched yet. And the problem is most people live their whole life on the surface, never digging deep enough to discover the treasure that's buried inside. You think you're at your limit because you're tired, but you're not. Your potential is deeper than your fatigue. You think you're finished because you failed. You say you're not. Your potential is stronger than your setback. You think you're stuck because it hasn't happened yet, but you're not. Your potential is bigger than your delay. You've got to stop treating your potential like it's a rumor and start treating it like it's the truth. I hear people say all the time, "Yeah, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I've got what it takes." And I tell them straight up, you're wrong. You've already proven you can survive what should have killed you. You've already endured pain that others couldn't handle. You've already gotten through nights you thought you wouldn't see the morning, and you think you don't have what it takes. The fact that you're still standing is proof you're stronger than you know. The fact that you're still breathing after all you've been through is proof there's something in you that refuses to quit. That's potential. That's proof that there's more in you than you've been giving. But here's the catch. Potential doesn't mean anything if you don't use it. Potential doesn't win championships. Potential doesn't change your life. Potential doesn't pay bills. What you do with it does. And too many of you are sitting on gifts, sitting on talents, sitting on dreams, waiting for the right time, waiting for perfect circumstances, waiting for everything to line up. But let me tell you something. There is no perfect time. There will always be reasons to wait. There will always be excuses to stall. If you keep waiting, your potential will rot inside you. You've got to make a move. You've got to put pressure on yourself to draw out what's in you. You've got to understand something. Pressure is what brings out potential. Diamonds don't shine without pressure. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Dreams don't come alive without struggle. Some of you are running from the very thing that's designed to unlock your greatness. You don't want struggle. You don't want pain. You don't want failure. You don't want failure. You don't want pressure. But that's exactly what's going to wake up your potential. You've got to stop seeing challenges as punishment and start seeing them as opportunities. Every time life pushes you, it's not to break you, it's to build you. Every time life tests you, it's not to disqualify you, it's to qualify you. Every time life stretches you, it's not to destroy you, it's to reveal you. And hear me, your potential is not about what you had, it's about who you are. Stop thinking you need more money, more connections, more resources before you can be great. You don't. Everything you need to start is already in you. The resources, the opportunities, the tools, they'll show up along the way. But the seed of greatness, that was planted in you the day you were born. The problem is not that you don't have it. The problem is you don't believe you do. And as long as you doubt it, you'll never access it. Some of you have been told your whole life you're average. Some of you grew up in environments where nobody believed in you, where nobody spoke life into you, where nobody told you what you were capable of. And now you've internalized that. You're living beneath your potential because you're living under lies. But I came to tell you, you are not what they called you. You are not your environment. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not your past. You are not your opinion of somebody who never saw your work. You are more. You've always been more. You've got to throw off every label, every limitation, every lie that's been placed on you and step into the truth. There's greatness in you. The question is, will you go find it? Because potential doesn't reveal itself to people who play it safe. Potential shows itself when you take risks, when you step outside your comfort zone, when you stretch yourself. Some of you are so comfortable that you put your potential to sleep. You built a little life, a little routine, and you think you're fine, but you're not fine. You're surviving, not thriving. You're existing, not living. You're settling when you should be soaring. And the only way to break out is to push yourself past comfort and demand more from yourself. I need you to understand potential is like a well. It doesn't matter how much water is down there. If you never dig, you'll die of thirst standing on top of abundance. And that's what some of you are doing, living thirsty while sitting on greatness. You gotta dig, you gotta work, you gotta push, you gotta sweat. You've gotta dig until you hit it. And when you do, you'll realize the power that was always there, the greatness that was always inside, the life that was always waiting for you to claim it. And let me be real with you, it's not gonna be easy. Discovering your potential requires sacrifice. It requires discipline. It requires consistency. It requires fighting your doubts, fighting your fears, fighting your laziness, fighting your excuses. But on the other side of that fight is freedom. On the other side of that fight is fulfillment. On the other side of that fight is the version of you that you've been dreaming about. You've got to stop telling yourself you can't. You got to stop shrinking when life gets hard. You got to stop living like you're powerless. You got to start speaking to yourself like you're powerful. You've got to start reminding yourself every single day, I've got more in me. I've got more to give. I've got more to become. Because the truth is, you're not finished. You're not at the end. You're not tapped out. You're just scratching the surface. And I promise you, if you would just wake up to your potential, if you would just believe that there's more in you, if you would just start acting like you're capable more, your life would change. You stop quitting so easily. You stop doubting yourself so quickly. You'd stop letting fear hold you back because you know deep down I've got what it takes. I've always had what it takes. And once you know that, nothing can stop you. So I need you to make a decision right here, right now, that you will no longer ignore what's inside of you. You will no longer play small. You will no longer settle for less than you're capable of. You will no longer live beneath your calling. You will wake up every day aware of your potential, aware of your greatness, aware of your power, and you will live like it. Because the moment you do, the moment you believe it, the moment you act on it, that's the moment everything changes.